We just talked about an awesome movie. Let's talk about something else. So the trailer for Jem and the Holograms has been released, and well, without comment, let's take a look.
This is about you not going your whole life wondering what would have happened if you didn't take that chance.
The biggest record company in the world wants to sign us.
You're gonna be famous! Who wants to walk on water?
Welcome to Starlight Enterprises.
This is Rio.
Hi, girls.
You are no longer Jerica. Jem, that's what we call you now.
That means changing the way you act, sound, and look.
This is us?
No, it's Photoshop.
If you got your it's a party.
All the web's been talking about is Jem.
Jem and her band of sisters revealing a whole new look.
You're on the radio!
No.
Oh my God, we're on the radio!
I would have never guessed that coming here would mean a whole new Jerica.
You mean Jem.
The whole world wants to know who you are right now. An icon is not one of four, it's one of a kind.
You don't want us around anymore?
That's not how a family's supposed to act.
This is just the beginning.
The version of me that they want doesn't exist.
And then Hannah Montana took off her wig. What? All right, so, you know, let's get down to it. This is a very big takeoff from what Jem had originally represented as a cartoon and as a toy. And yes, it was very, very commercialized, but I feel like it knew what it was when it was a cartoon. It was wrapped in this commercialism of let's sell toys, which is, you know, what this and a few other similar movies and well, now movies, cartoons in the day were intended to do. But Jem was a very different character in that show. She wasn't.
She owned her own universe.
She owned it. And when she turned into Jem with all the crazy hair and makeup and clothes, that was an extension of her. It wasn't this facade. I feel like it's a bit of it's a letdown to have that moment where you take off the wig and suddenly your music is more real and this is your authentic you. It doesn't make sense to me, this trope.
Well, I mean, the biggest
especially
change,
of Jem.
Yeah, the biggest change we can see is that Julia Lewis, the actress in there, is going to be the head of the record label, right? Which is a spin-off because it was supposed to be Jem that was in charge of it, right?
No, Jerica was always battling with Eric Raymond, who was like, well, Jem had a lot more going on. She knew who she was, first of all, as an adult woman, and she was never conflicted about like separating from her friends and going solo. She and her friends were a cohesive unit, and they've kind of stripped the friends a bit. One of them was the songwriter. Now Jem is the songwriter. One of them was in charge of the fashions. That's kind of more on the record label now. And they had this bond, like they were sisters and friends. And this one, it's just like, oh, am I going to do my own thing? Is it going to be that one episode of the Brady Bunch they did 40 years ago?
Yeah. They wanted to bring out the musical drama more than the musical fantasy side of it, which is, for diehard fans, that's going to be infuriating. And I mean, from my history, I remember just from it was after Alvin and the Chipmunks. That's why I used to watch it. It used to come on after that. But the whole YouTube discovery thing, like we just mentioned it before with one of our producers. Yeah, Justin Bieber's producer is actually involved in the movie, right? Or one of his managers.
He's one of the producers.
He's one of the producers that are involved, his manager. So you can see how that reads off. That this is going to be YouTube, how she's discovered, which for diehard fans, as I said, is ridiculous. However, I want to ask you the question. Are fans of Jem and the Hologram going to be aware now, like everyday fans that are going to watch this in this new Pitch Perfect era, are they going to be aware of the old cartoon when they come into this, or do you think this is going to be headed out to a new, younger audience?
Aka, excuse me? No, this is designed, I guess, for a younger audience, but this is an audience that hasn't been as exposed or doesn't have the nostalgia for Jem like the original audience had. And it's a completely different story. This story has been told via, you know, maybe the commercialism of Josie and the Pussycats, or maybe the embracing your persona versus a glamorous fake persona in Hannah Montana. This has been done already. Jem, she's crazy. She is truly, truly, truly outrageous. And you know what? She owns it. It's part of who she is. Yeah. And with this, it's more like, I gotta strip it away and be who I am. No, that was who she was. She was actualized. The original Jem was a badass. She was running an orphanage and trying to hold on to her record label and fighting the misfits. Where are they? Not having the misfits is like doing Transformers without the Decepticons. Now, one of the actresses in this movie, she said that we shouldn't be judging the trailer as a representation of the movie, but that's what trailers are.
That's what
they
trailers
are
have become
representations of the movie.
Yeah, trailers have become similar, like little snippets of movies now.
And if the trailer doesn't represent it, whoever made the trailer needs to be talked to or disciplined. And also, I think it's disingenuous to say, oh, this doesn't represent, it'll be magic. It'll be everything you want it to be when you get to theaters and watch it after you give us your money. This is not it. So Christy Marks is the creator of Gem, and she has been largely ignored. She was not signed on as a writer or a consultant in any way. She did say that she spoke to the director and he had a different vision than hers, but he seemed to have a point of view that was more, she said it was respectful. And according to her, we're just going to have to wait and see. I think that's a diplomatic thing to say, and I don't think that's the truth, or my truth at least. Audience, what do you think? Are you going to go see Gem? Is Gem her name? Is she never the same? Yeah, she isn't ever the same, according to this version versus the old version. Anyway, what do you think of the trailer? Let us know below in the comments, and please be sure to subscribe.